Now listen, I know I've got a tough fight on my hands, and everyone in this room know that as well. I'm not telling you anything you're not aware of. I'm aware of as well. And I don't need a poll to have me tell me those results. I've got some work to do to get back on track with the people of this state, and I intend to do that. I intend to do my job every single day. And questions have been asked, and they deserve answers. And I've been traveling around the state, meeting with many of you in this room, talking about those issues, my answers to them. I want all of you to know just one thing this evening. As long as I live, I never have and never will do anything to violate the trust and the confidence of the people of this state or my job as the United States Senator. And I want every one of you to know that. Nothing short of that along the way. Now listen. Now listen. The pundits are saying that I've got a tough race in front of me. But now let me tell you something. Being criticized in public life is not tough. Running an election when your numbers aren't great is not tough. Having bad numbers politically is not tough. Being accused falsely is not tough. Let me tell you what's tough. Tough is when you lose your job. Tough is when you lose your retirement. Tough is when you lose your home. Tough is when you lose your health care. Tough is when you think you've lost the opportunity to educate your children. That's what's tough in America. And as long as I'm in this job, my job is to fight for people who can't be here tonight, who've lost their house, lost their job, lost their retirement, and I'll never quit in standing up for those people and what they deserve. That's the job of a United States Senator. It's not my job, it's their job that we ought to be fighting for. That's what this is all about. We had a good conversation about this a few weeks ago, and the one issue that people wanted to make sure we would not retreat on, I figure which one of you asked me the question, and that is whether or not they'd be retroactively be able to go back and raise interest rates on previous balances. And we kept that promise. That is in that bill. The one regret I have is it doesn't become effective tomorrow. In order to get the votes, we had to delay the implementation of the bill until early next year, around January, February. So that is there. You got to wait. You can't, eliminate someone or on fees for 45 days. You get 21 days to respond. They can't just have your money you pay the lower interest rate that's due, but rather has to go to the higher interest rate. You get to decide whether or not you want a credit limit. You get to decide to opt out. It empowers you as a consumer in this country, not the issuing companies, to decide what the limitations will be. So those are, there are many more. The double cycle billing, the universal default stuff, which allowed them to continue to charge you interest rates on the total amount that was due, not just the part left after you paid it off. So, those are the major things, although there's a lot more to it. It's a major landmark piece of legislation. And it's the first time that Congress has ever sat there and overturned the credit card industry. So I only got it out of my committee by a one-vote margin, but I got 90 votes on the floor of the Senate with the bill. So it shows you what can happen when you get out the floor. People didn't want to vote against me on that bill.
What are we going to be doing in terms of health care in the country? Is that something you're going to be tackling?
You bet. Start tomorrow. I'm going to have the tobacco bill up tomorrow. We have 3,000 to 4,000 kids every day that start smoking. We lose 400,000 people a year because of smoking-related illnesses. And by putting some real teeth in the FDA and prohibiting the kind of sales to younger people, that's the first real step in the health care bill, preventive medicine, preventive policies. And then, of course, we're going to start immediately with this very large bill in hopes to complete it in the next 12 weeks. And believe me, the blogosphere really needs to get involved in this debate. You're a great help on credit cards. You were a great help on the housing foreclosure mitigation. You were a great help when it came to the FISA courts and the wiretapping that went on. Now I really need you on health care. If we're going to succeed here, the other side is going to try to kill this bill. And health care changes everything. It'll be the single most important bill that most members of Congress will ever vote on, because it alters fundamentally how people have access to health care, which ought to be a right and not a privilege.
President Obama has put forth a Supreme Court nominee that the headliner of the Prescott-Bush tour on Thursday called a racist. What are your feelings on the nominee, and do you think she will be confirmed?
I don't know her. Others know her far better, and I'll be watching. Obviously, I think she's a great choice based on everything I've seen so far. But I'll have a vote on it. So I always, before I announce a vote, I always like to do my homework. And so while I'm very favorably inclined towards her, I tell the audience today, but I've always, my job is to patiently listen. She'll have that confirmation hearing. I think some of the comments I've heard about her from Dick Cheney and from Newt Gingrich have been outrageous, in my view. But nonetheless, I'm going to let the committee do its job. But I'm very excited about this nominee. I think she has an opportunity to be, again, a game changer on the Supreme Court. And so I'm hopeful that she'll be confirmed. And I hope to be a vote for her. But I need to reserve that final judgment until I've actually done the homework.